hotter uranium stocks. Man, it seems there's no stopping the uranium stocks right now. And whenever that happens, we need to take a step back and say, all right, might be time to book some profits, but don't forget to get back into uranium trade. There are some factors that look really good. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month.
So I sometimes see the comment, why do you always talk about gold and silver and the gold and silver miners and uranium stocks and Bitcoin? And the easy answer is, I like to make money. And I like to make money in the easy trades. If you want to trade the dollar, if you want to trade bonds, have a couple of heart attacks while doing it, knock yourself out. I prefer to make easy money in the market. Now, I'm not going to say that the uranium trade was easy in the winter and the first quarter of this year. It was not, unless you were short. But it has been the easy trade in the past weeks. And here at Hot Trades of the Day, we got in early and we rode this momentum and this trade all the way up. If you like to receive information like this, hit the subscribe button. Join our growing community of people that are ahead of the curve, right? We were ahead of the curve when we got into uranium trade, but now we also have to be ahead of the curve to get out of the uranium trade, at least short term, book some profits, because look at the URA, the ETF for the uranium miners. I mean, what a party it's been in the past days since the Trump factor hit the market that he wants to ease the regulation requirements for the approval of nuclear reactors in the US. He wants to shorten that period down to 18 months. You know this. But also, look, uranium stocks are momentum stocks first and foremost. So when they run, they run. And they usually run higher than people think. But we also need to keep a cool head. We got an RSI of 87 now in the URA. That is crazy. The last time we had something this high was in October last year, and that pretty much hit the top of the fall rally, and what followed was a downturn that even turned into a significant downturn. Now, I don't think we're going to see a significant sell-off like this anymore. Why? Because the fundamentals are changing. We're going to talk about this in a second. But if we look at the chart, look how far back I have to go to find an RSI read that high. That wasn't even that high. We're right here, we're just at 83, we're at 87 now. And there you see as well, that pretty much nailed then a correction came. So don't forget to book your winners, right? Let's take a look at a stock like Oklo. Man, it's run up like crazy. And yeah, right? 50 gives us 60. There's a chance we can run to 60. But really, look at the RSI here, right? Last time we were this high was here. We kept running up a little bit, but eventually we rolled over and had a correction. And this is what I think is coming in Oklo as well. Yeah, maybe you'll miss out on 10%. But if this goes into correction mode, it's going to go fast. People are going to take the profits fast. Why? Because this is the first rally after a long bear market. And people are still nervous. This is not sticky money yet. This is fast money. So they're going to be out the second there's any sign of potential weakness in the uranium stocks. Now, do I like Oklo? I do, especially as momentum stock, right? If the momentum is positive for uranium, then Oklo is usually one of the stocks that really runs. So where would I look to buy it? This zone, right? We got this gap fill right here. We might get the retest of the broken downtrend. We have this structure area right here. So 40 to 37, that is an area where I would be back on the buy side. Right now, let's book the profits, enjoy our trades. We made bank on these trades. So are we going to hit the top, the absolute top? No, we don't. We're going to miss probably 5%, maybe even 10% with a crazy stock like Oklo. But that's okay. You never hit the top anyway. You just need to be in the top area and make a good trade. So why do I like the uranium stocks now? Because times are changing. Not only in the charts, as you can see here, we have more and more uranium stocks that are breaking their downtrend from the sell-offs. We also have shift in sentiment. I would call it bullish to neutral right now. I wouldn't say it's a super bullish yet, but we're getting there. But we also have fundamental factors. And I'm not talking about the Trump initiative for the nuclear reactors. I'm talking about two factors that not everybody's talking about. And that's why you come to this channel for, to get information that you can't find on all the other channels. That gives you information that gets you into trades earlier, gets you ahead of the market. If you like these kind of information, then please subscribe to the channel. And oh, right here, I'm gonna give you the best investment advice of the week right now. Invest in your time. I went out and saw the new Mission Impossible movie yesterday, and it's absolutely terrible. Not only is it terrible, it's 3 freaking hours long. Save your time, don't see this movie, use these 3 hours of your life to do something with your family, with your friends, quality time. You can thank me later when you watch this thing on streaming, and after half an hour you'll be like, I'm out, I'm gonna go cook a beautiful meal for my family or whatever, do something else. So, back to uranium, Little Mission Impossible, right? Man, what a waste of lifetime that movie is. There's news that came out that didn't get a lot of attention yet. I think it's the most important news in the uranium sector for the US, which you know is my favorite, right? We want to invest in the US uranium market. That's going to be the hottest market in the world. And that is on May 12th, in the state of Utah, the uranium project called Velvet Wood by a small company that not many people know about called Anfield Energy. And this is the chart of Anfield Energy, and you can see this stock basically did nothing, and then comes May 12th and it popped, right? Basically doubled in a few days. Why is that? Well, because the Velvet Wood project received fast track status for the environmental approval process. And this is the first time under the Trump administration that this has happened. So things are happening in the uranium sector. Real things. We're not talking Trump big talk, tariff style, 50% tariffs here, and then the next day they're gone again and whatever. No, no, no. In the uranium sector, things are happening on the ground. And the Velvet Wood project is proof of this. And it's proof that things are really changing on the regulation level. And that is important because that will speed up the process to get uranium projects, I'm not even going to say into production, but moving them forward faster, right? And this time saved will obviously have a positive effect on the uranium companies, right? By the way, one uranium stock I would recommend holding is Denison Mines. Now, nasty looking candle short term. We ran right into this yellow resistance zone. Looks like we can't break through. Got a big open gap, right? Could go all the way back down here to 150, where we have a triple support zone. We got the uptrend, long-term uptrend. I'll show you that in a second. We got this horizontal support zone, and we got this gap fill. Let's zoom out real quick. Here we go. Big time long-term uptrend, right? Held up like a champion several times. So, however, why am I willing to maybe have all these trading profits evaporate and hold the stock? Because with Denison Mines, we have one of the most important fundamental decisions for uranium company in 2025 coming later this year, the approval of the Phoenix project. It's huge, right? It's one of the top uranium projects that is in advanced development. So we have a big fundamental catalyst coming. I want to be in this stock. I don't want to be out of this stock. If I lose some trading profits, fine. If you have a core position and you're trading around the core position, which I always recommend doing when you invest in and get active in a sector that has as strong fundamentals as uranium or as gold or silver, you build up your core position and then you trade around it, that's fine, right? Then I would also take some profits in Denison Mines. But if you try to time this with your whole position, you're running the risk on missing out on this trade, because maybe tomorrow Trump comes out with another tweet that's positive for the nuclear sector. We're going to rip another 20%. It's fine if you miss a couple of stocks, uranium stocks, because you took profits. But if you're going to miss out on your core positions because you tried to trade them with the whole position, that's not very smart. So Denison Mines, for me, one of the most interesting stocks for 2025 in the uranium sector, because we have this big fundamental news coming up that the whole sector will be looking at. We also have the chart which I showed you where we are at the lower end of the long-term uptrend channel and we're just turning upwards. Looks really nice, right? If you want to, you can even put in head and shoulders formation if you want to do that right at the bottom. However way you put it, this looks great. If you like the content, help us get to 2,500 subscribers, and as a thank you, we'll start a real money portfolio with gold mining stocks, uranium mining stocks, and Bitcoin. Also, another thing that starts to look good that I'm going to talk about more next week is what I'm hearing from the uranium sector is that the spot price is climbing. I've talked about this before, right? We have now seen a long period of the stock price in uranium declining month over month because the utilities are not buying. I'll show you the numbers next week because then we get the prices for the month of May. But I'm hearing that for the second month in a row now, the prices are actually turning up and climbing. And we know that the uranium stocks are closely related to the price movement of the stock price. Doesn't really make sense, but the uranium market is really hard to value and to understand for a lot of investors, so they kind of cling on to things like the spot price. This really happens when the spot price climbs over $75 a pound and then over 100. If it goes over 100, uranium stocks go nuclear. We're way far off from that happening yet. But we're seeing a change in trend. That is positive. That's what I'm saying. The fundamentals are shifting. We want to be in the uranium stocks, right? But we don't want to be too greedy. We are taking our trading profits. That's it for today. Have a great day. Don't watch Mission Impossible. Save your lifetime. Have a good one. Bye-bye.